There is a place in the city of Birmingham that still holds a dark story that makes many people shudder when they hear it. The place was once a massive iron factory filled with the constant roar of machines, blazing fires, and workers who labored endlessly. But behind that industrial activity lies a terrifying story of accidents, death, and a cruel foreman whose name is still talked about to this day. The extremely high demand for pig iron made many businessmen see a huge opportunity in the region of Alabama, which was rich in iron ore and coal. One of the important figures who recognized this potential was James Withers. He was an ambitious entrepreneur who believed that Birmingham could become the largest iron production center in America. With that belief, he began planning the construction of a large industrial facility that would later become known as Sloss Furnaces. Construction of the massive furnaces began in the early 1880s. The project required a large workforce, as well as industrial technology that, at the time, was considered advanced. The blast furnace structures were built using heat-resistant bricks, enormous pipes, and metal channels that carried molten iron. From a distance, the complex looked like towering industrial structures with thick smoke, constantly rising into the sky above Birmingham every day. Not long after construction was completed, Sloss Furnaces began full operation. The company opened job opportunities for hundreds of people from various backgrounds. Many workers came from surrounding areas of Alabama, while others were immigrants searching for a new life. They worked long and exhausting shifts, facing extreme heat from furnaces that burned iron or day and night without stopping. Working at a blast furnace was not an ordinary job. Workers had to deal directly with molten metal that could reach temperatures of thousands of degrees. Sparks frequently flew through the air around the work area, while the thunderous sound of massive machines echoed constantly. Even a small mistake could be fatal. Many new workers did not initially understand how dangerous the job truly was until they experienced it themselves. As time passed, various accidents began to occur within the Sloss Furnaces complex. Some workers slipped on hot metal pathways, while others were struck by bursts of high-pressure steam from industrial pipes. Severe burns became fairly common injuries. Some accidents even ended in tragic deaths when someone fell too close to the furnace that burned as brightly as a man-made sun. Despite the frequent workplace accidents, the factory continued to operate because the demand for iron never stopped. The United States was in a period of massive development. Railroads, bridges, and new buildings required enormous amounts of metal. Workers at Sloss had little choice but to continue working in the dangerous environment in order to earn wages for the families who depended on them. Entering the early 1900s, the situation at Sloss Furnaces became even worse. Production pressure increased, and company management demanded faster and greater output than ever before. During this period, a new foreman began to gain notoriety among the workers. His name was James "Slag" Wormwood, a man whose reputation quickly became the subject of discussion among those working under his supervision. James Wormwood was known as a harsh, cold, and extremely demanding figure. He did not care about workers' safety as long as production targets were achieved. Many workers said Wormwood often forced them to work faster, even when the furnace conditions were unstable. Some workers even claimed they were forced into dangerous areas that should have been closed due to the risk of explosions or molten iron spills. The workers began calling him by the nickname Slag, an industrial term for the waste product left over from irons. The nickname was not merely an insult, but also a symbol of their hatred toward the way Wormwood treated them. He was known for never showing sympathy when someone was injured. To Wormwood, the workers were simply parts of a large production machine that had to keep moving without stopping. According to various accounts that later appeared in reports and local folklore, Wormwood's time at Sloss Furnaces was filled with horrifying accidents. Many workers suffered severe burns, broken bones, and even death due to increasingly dangerous working conditions. Whenever an incident occurred, production continued as usual, as if the tragedy were merely a small part of harsh industrial life. Reader's Digest once wrote that Wormwood frequently made extremely risky decisions to increase iron production. He ordered workers to open furnace channels faster than proper procedures allowed. Such actions could cause dangerous eruptions of molten metal. Yet to him, increasing production output was always more important than human safety. As pressure continued to rise, the atmosphere inside the factory became a tense and frightening workplace. Workers began to feel afraid each time they entered the furnace area. They were not only worried about the deadly machines, but also about the orders from their own foreman. Even a small mistake could result in harsh punishment or being assigned even more dangerous work. Stories about tragic accidents began spreading throughout the city of Birmingham. Many families lost fathers, brothers, or sons who worked at Schloss Furnaces. Despite this, the job remained one of the main sources of income in the city. Many people continued taking the risk because no other job offered the same wages. Some longtime workers even said that every part of the factory held a story of death. Iron staircases, narrow corridors, and scorching pipelines had all witnessed numerous accidents over the years. Some workers died after falling from great heights, while others were trapped near furnaces when molten metal overflowed. All of this added to the dark reputation of the place. Tension between the workers and Wormwood continued to grow day by day. Many felt that the foreman was directly responsible for the deaths of their co-workers. However, at that time, workers had very little legal protection or strong labor unions. They could only suppress their anger and fear while continuing to work under harsh supervision. Rumors began to circulate that some workers were secretly planning a way to stop Wormwood's cruelty. Quiet conversations often took place in corners of the factory, while the machines roared loudly. No one knew exactly who first started the idea, but years of accumulated anger made many workers feel that something had to be done. In 1906, a shocking event was said to have occurred inside the Schloss Furnaces complex. According to stories circulating among the workers, Wormwood was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Some reports claimed he fell into a blazing furnace. However, many believed his death was not a simple accident. The legend that later developed claimed that the workers finally took revenge for the cruel treatment they had endured for years. They were rumored to have thrown Wormwood into the furnace as revenge for the deaths of dozens of workers during his time as foreman. However, the story was never officially confirmed by the company. After Wormwood's death, the stories about him did not stop. Instead, strange accounts began to emerge among workers who continued working at Schloss Furnaces. Some claimed they heard heavy footsteps in the furnace area when no one else was there. Others said they saw the shadow of a large man walking among the pipes and machines. These stories further strengthened the mysterious aura surrounding the factory. Night shift workers often felt uneasy when they had to walk alone through dark, narrow corridors. They said that sometimes someone could be heard shouting or growling from the direction of the furnace, even though the area appeared empty. Some workers even claimed they had seen the figure of a man with a dirty face and old work clothes standing near furnace number 3. When they tried to approach, the figure suddenly disappeared. Many believed the figure was Wormwood's restless spirit that never left the place where he died. The legend of Wormwood's ghosts gradually spread beyond the factory grounds. Residents of Birmingham began hearing strange stories from workers who returned home late at night. Some said the spirit was angry and still watched over the furnaces just as he did when he was alive. The story became a frequently discussed topic throughout the city. Over time, Schloss Furnaces continued operating for several more decades. However, its reputation as a haunted location never truly disappeared. Many new workers had already heard the frightening stories about Wormwood even before they began working there. Eventually, industrial operations at Schloss Furnaces ended in the 1970s when new technologies and economic changes made the factory no longer necessary. The massive industrial complex was abandoned for some time before eventually being converted into a historic site open to the public. Although it is now an industrial museum, many people say the atmosphere inside the complex still feels strange. The huge metal structures, narrow corridors, and silent old furnaces create an environment that makes visitors feel as though the place still holds many stories from the past. Some paranormal investigators have even conducted research at the site. They attempted to record strange sounds or unexplained phenomena that might occur at night. Some claims suggest that their recording devices captured footsteps or whispers that could not be scientifically explained. The story of Schloss Furnaces has now become one of the most famous urban legends in Alabama. Many people visit not only to see the history of American industry, but also to experience firsthand the mysterious atmosphere that has surrounded the site for more than a century. For some people, the story of Wormwood is merely folklore exaggerated by time. But for others, the tragedies that occurred there left such a powerful emotional mark that it seems as though the past can still be felt today. Whether legend or reality, Schloss Furnaces remains a reminder of a harsh and dangerous industrial era. Behind the iron that helped build America, there are stories of workers who faced heat, danger, and death. And among those stories, the Nammy James Slag Wormwood continues to live on as part of Birmingham's horror legend.